What up, friends? As we speak right now, I am on a plane to China. But through the magic of the internet, we can talk about Pettis and Poirier. Watch my YouTube channel and Instagram and stuff, because I'm hoping to share some stuff from China, but there's a real challenge. Something called the Great Firewall of China. It's tough to get through. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be able to share you some beautiful stuff. But right now, what we're going to share is a fucking killer fight. Spectacularly killer. I'm just jazzed right up about this one. Like, so good. Both guys have fought at 145 pounds. They're 55ers, true 55ers who killed themselves to try to get to 45. Poirier did it a lot more. But this is them at their best. This is them as like Cadillacs or racehorses. You know, so many cool things about it. Poirier, you know, if you look at their mindsets, they're quite different human beings, which of course we're all different, but there's a real difference in the way that they look at fighting and art and combat and their job and stuff. And that makes it really interesting for me. Those are the things I think we don't do a great job, all of us, in examining and what that means. But the fight itself is really interesting to me because, like, when you see Pettis against southpaws, he will often work from orthodox, and when he's facing an orthodox guy, he'll often work from southpaw. I guess his background in Taekwondo gives him so much use, so much control, like dexterity with his feet and legs and hips, that open side is just so appealing to him. Like, he switches a fair bit, but his great moments are open side versus open side. So in this case, right foot back, and again, like I said, he will switch a lot, mostly to destabilize you wherever possible, but from that side, man, and you go back and you look, you know, I've broken it down more than once, and the Joe Lozon fight. It's a pattern setting him. The movement of that shoulder, keep going in, and you see this. And then this, you go to respond, and you literally see Joe, and Joe's fucking odd cat, lovable odd cat, but very fucking smart. Joe's brain, you see him anticipate that, and instead kick. You know, and he'll tuck that kick in all places. Of all of them, of a lot of them, Pettis is probably one of the very best ever at not giving you information at all. None. There's no, you don't know what I'm doing. Or giving you just enough that you think you figured something out. And when you think you figured it out, that's when you're fucked. So he's quite brilliant. Yeah, he has this, Duke's talked about it a fair bit. When Pettis throws that kick against the open side, he has the ability to trace the body. So imagine this is his foot, and this is the body. And it isn't just like a question mark kick where this comes up and goes. He will literally, and he can do that all day long, he can follow the shape of the body as he throws the kick. That's the highest level of really, really evolving that skill, is to being able to trace the body. Because if you can trace that body up at any point, you can tuck it in, right? There's just some skills that Pettis has that very few artists have ever had. I've said this before. I've told this story before. Man, I feel so lucky when I think about it, how much I love being able to study fighting and fighters and art, martial arts and stuff, and when you're somebody who loves it as much as I do, to be able to be in there and see these guys work sometimes is just something so I'm so grateful. And I got to watch Cub do a few, 3 or 4 rounds with Brandon Gibson in Albuquerque. It was pretty special. And then within a couple months, I was watching Du Ho Choi, and those two, they are two of my favorites. Cub is my favorite artist to watch. Probably always gonna be. The Jorge Masvidal, Du Ho Choi, there's a lot of them. Michael Chandler. Hey, Mike, congratulations, by the way. Mike just adopted a kid. Did you see that? Super cool, man. I'm really happy for you guys. We're going to New York. Shit. Chandler, expect a message from me. We got to get together. but yeah, there's a few of these guys, Chandler and Cobb, and that are just my very favorites. And so when I watch them, it's very special for me to get to do. And Pettis is one of these. But of all of them, Pettis probably was the most mechanically efficient, virtuoso-like, when you just watched him work a little. And he was just working, he had a fight coming up. But this is like, for sure, 7 years ago. Can you imagine how fucking good he is now? 7 years ago, Anthony Pettis is still burned into my brain as the most mechanically efficient, smooth, greased grooves of his joints artist I've ever seen. Fuck. Think of that. Because he's massively better. When he's at his best, he's the best. The best. Then you got a Dustin Poirier. And Dustin Poirier, killer southpaw, vicious the way he throws, especially the way he throws that left hand, but it's his makeup. It's his mind. With all of these guys, that's ultimately it. Doesn't matter how good you kick. The reason you kick so well is because you learn so well. The reason you learn so well is your mind. The reason you fight so tough is your mind. The reason you are who you are is your mind. Poirier has been a fascinating one to watch from afar, as he has figured out how to change who he is and how he sees the world. I'll never forget how much I enjoyed talking to him. I believe it was Quebec City. And he had this fight of the night, 1-rounder. And I always forget his opponent's name, although his opponent gave such a beautiful fight. He's just got a really interesting name, and so I always forget. And he's a great fighter. I'll pull it up. But he had this fight of the night fight, and I asked him after. I said, "You could have just jabbed this guy."
Akira Corsani.
Yeah, Corsani. Yeah, Akira Corsani, who I believe is like Swedish or something cool.
Coaching now. You coached.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in cornering. Yeah, cool. Corsani was a wonderful fighter too, and that was a wonderful fight. But I said, you have the skills. That night he had the skills to, between a jab, a low kick, and a top game, and he was much bigger than Corsani at 145 pounds, to go in and play a smart, safe game and come out of there, and he was like, that's not who the fuck I am. You could just feel like the fiery nature, that almost he didn't have the ability to control his nature. He got 50 grand and a killer fight, and he got to be who he was, And that guy against a Pettis, the smooth, and Pettis, of course, gets us visceral. At his best, he's visceral, and his desire to win is so good. But that Poirier, and Joe has used the word savage so much that we all use it now, right? Like, it's Joe's fucking word, but I think we all get it. We all get to have it now. But it's a great word. It's a perfect description for, cheers to Joe, by the way. Hope I see you in New York, man. It's perfect for Dustin Poirier. He's a fucking savage, right? But he's not. That's the thing. That's what's so fascinating to me. I love the chance to talk to him. They talk about his work ethic, and they talk about how tough he is rounds in the gym, and they talk about how, Yves Edwards just fucking loves that guy too. I got the good fortune to work with Yves on a project for the UFC in Vegas, and man, fuck, does he love that guy. And I saw him there cornering him in the fight with Eddie, and obviously Poirier looked phenomenal in that fight. So, but he now has the ability to be strategic, to be smart. He could go rounds or moments of the fight and work a jab, work a low kick, use a proper, a real established strategy and stay to it. But then, when need be, he'll pull out that visceral nature. That's exactly what it was with Eddie. Taking him apart. Oh, shit, I need that. Fuck, I'm Dustin Poirier. I got that. In fact, I got a little reserve of it now that I'm not using it at all the times. And the joy he probably feels when he lets himself fucking go, but the success that he has by figuring out how to temper that, that's what's made him this. That's why he can win this fight. That's why this fight is so perfect. And Pettis, on the other hand, wants to let that out. Pettis, when he's, executing, is amazing. But Pettis, when he also fucking wants to kill you, That's another level. So Pettis wants to encourage that out. Poirier keeps that under control just a little bit. And then he has it when he needs it. Oh, fuck, it's a good one. I can't wait. Anyways, greetings from my airplane or greetings from China. But this is going to be a good one, man. Enjoy the hostilities, my friends. I will see you in a week.